I ain't gonna expose. I'm not like that. I'm not a snitch. Virginity. It's a hush hush topic.
Yeah. They love me.
Let's see if your parents raised you.
It's deeper than the physical.
What up, fam? Welcome back to the Juxtaposition, everyone. Welcome back to the Juxtaposition, everybody. I'm your host, Nana, with the most.
Hey. Beautiful girls, actually not girls, women.
Women, please.
In the
city. The whole world, country.
The whole world.
Yeah.
Wow, let's not toot our own horn.
Yeah. So.
Oh, I didn't introduce myself yet.
Oh, did you?
No.
Say, for
Bernice.
people who don't know you.
I'm Bernice.
What's your last name?
Orwale.
Okay.
Orwale.
My name is Janet Orowale. We're sisters, if you didn't know.
Yeah, for the new listeners and watchers.
Yeah.
Anyways,
All right.
we're in a new space, guys.
Yeah.
That was the last of it, of the old Juxtaposition space.
Studios have closed
It
down.
lasted like what, a couple months?
A year.
That was a full year.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Come on, don't do that.
Where do we
We went
start?
from gray to black, you know.
No, but it wasn't a year. It was a little less than a
was
year
a
because when
year.
we did the gray background, we had some episodes in there.
No. We're talking about what room we've been in. It's been a year.
Oh, the room. I thought you meant like the background,
No,
the
no,
color
no,
and stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry
so-
about that.
Yeah, this is our new space. I mean, along with another space. So we'll see what happens in the future.
Open doors.
God is opening doors for us.
Yes, he is. As
So,
always.
so we're here today. Bernice,
Yeah, man.
lead us.
All right. So this episode is going to be about questions that a lot of people probably have.
This episode is brought to you by Christian Mingle. Christian Mingle, where all the Christians get together. I'm joking, no promo. But.
As I was saying before he interrupted. But yeah, this episode is going to be about questions that as the world has for Christians that we sometimes.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Sometimes Christians
I was
may
gonna
have
say.
this.
I was gonna
Okay.
say.
Yeah, Christians have it
Some
too.
Christians have. Actually, I would say I have questions. Some Christians may have these questions as well.
Okay.
And so these are questions that sometimes we may not be able to answer because we don't know the answer to, which is fine because we don't know everything. That's the whole point, right? Yeah. But these are questions that we have. There's 3 questions that we're gonna address and then potentially answer. If you don't know, then it's fine.
We're just talking about it.
Yes.
We're discussing it. We're, bouncing
Yeah.
ideas off each other and what the answer might be from our perspectives.
Yes, and what we've read through the Bible and what we've heard from other people as well. So this is something from our experience. Once again, we don't know everything. And I'm okay with that.
Disclaimer, we're not professionals. We're
Yes.
not.
Even
we
if
don't,
you can't
we're not.
you're
What's
not
it called?
perfect. We're not
People
perfect,
that
so
out there.
it's fine. We're not
Who
perfect.
study the Bible? Sorry,
Theology.
theology.
What
Yes.
is the word we learn in Abide?
Cessationists.
Cessationists.
What are those?
People who don't.
People who just believe in that God speaks.
He
through
only
the Bible.
he only spoke
Oh.
in the Bible.
The
He doesn't
Bible.
speak to people today.
Yes. What are you saying again?
Cessationists.
Anyways, let me go first.
Okay, go, Nana.
So there was a whole bunch of questions, and I was going through all of them, and I was like, okay, this is the one I want to talk about.
Okay.
So it says, if God chooses to allow the devil to continue to exist, knowing he is going to tempt us into sin, isn't God making the devil his agent? Let me see that one more time.
Yes. Nice and.
If God chooses to allow the devil to continue to exist, knowing he's going to tempt us into sin, isn't God making the devil his agent? So I'm like, I feel like that's
Oh, ha!
because I was reading Matthew, maybe chapter 4.
It is chapter 4.
Chapter 4, yes, and how while Jesus was fasting, the devil tempted him, right? And reading this, I'm like, or reading Matthew as well, I was like, why don't you just say poof, pow, be gone? Like, why don't you just, don't you have the power? Like, why are you entertaining this guy? Like, he's not even like, shouldn't even be in your space, you know? So yeah, this question kind of like made me think of that, to be honest. I mean, I don't agree with I don't think it's right.
Yeah.
In a way, because I guess like stuff like that, it's like it has to happen, if that makes sense. Like I feel like the devil had to come to Jesus because we need to get tested, you know? And maybe Jesus is showing us that I got tested so will you, so will you, so will you. So it's like kind of showing, Jesus was kind of showing us like, I don't know the word.
An example.
Yes, an example of what it's like to be tested and to be tempted. But at the same time, I was like, yo, bruh, just look to you. Why you letting this guy, if you jump off the cliffs, turn to bread low, something like that. I'm like,
Right.
I'll give you this kingdom. It's like, yo, you know the answer. You know that you can just done this guy, but you're allowing him time and space to even enter your life and talk about it. So that's why I thought about that with the question.
Do you have anything to say about that?
I would say yes.
I never forgot the question.
Yeah, just repeat it one more time.
Sorry, the question is, if God chooses to allow the devil to continue to exist, knowing he's going to tempt us into sin, isn't God making the devil his agent, like his buddy? Like, yeah.
I'm thinking like, no, because as you were saying, like, I feel like if everything was easily, God could easily remove every pain, every suffering, every temptation. Life would just be like so easy, and we wouldn't be dependent on him and need him for our source of strength. And I think we wouldn't learn that way. Like we would just, it's like having as a baby, having everything handed to you.
Yeah.
If you cry, he comes. If you do this, he comes. Or like it does. You don't need no one to. Sorry, reverse what I said. Scrap what I said. Like, as a baby, like you knew how to soothe yourself. You knew how to feed yourself. You know, you wouldn't be dependent and learn how to walk and talk. You need people to help you and push you along in that way. And I feel like it removes the dependency of God. That's how I think. He's not being an agent.
And even reading Job. And Job was living a good life, had kids and stuff like that. And then I guess the devil at the time wasn't like the devil. He was actually like in heaven, I believe. Like when he was considered, like his name Lucifer, I believe.
I don't know. I don't know that one.
Remember when I asked him the question in our group session?
I don't.
You don't remember? Okay, so basically the devil went to God. Is like, yo, look at this guy. Like, shouldn't he be tested? So he's like, all right, let's test him. So, and then God's like, don't harm him. Don't touch Job.
You can't kill him. That's basically. You can do anything to him, take anything from him, but you cannot kill him.
So then, boom, he went, killed off his kids and stuff like that. And I'm like, damn, like, whoa.
Well, God said
that is crazy. Right? Like, thinking about this question is like, someone could look at that and be like, yo, you allowed him?
That's probably why
you allowed him to go and kill Job's kids. Yeah, you said don't touch Job, but Job's kids is Job. Like, that's his heart, right?
Yeah, that's from him.
Once again, people need to be tested. And sometimes we see, like we see in the news that, we see families passing away and stuff like that. And it's hard to tell someone, oh, God's testing you. Like, they'll slap you. Like, they don't want to hear that.
Like, God wasn't thinking about me when this happened.
Wants to hear that.
Like,
like my brother died.
When you step back and take it in, like, not everybody's story is going to be different. So there's going to have to be, like, people that are going to have to go through the fire, And I look at it as like, okay, maybe God put you through that test so you can be an advocate for others that's going through it. Like, you never know, like, what God is putting you through. So, you can, that's when they say, what do they say? There's always, what's the saying?
God will never give you anything that you can't bear or something like that.
Something like that, or everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Everybody, I'm telling you, this generation hates that.
Yeah.
Like, they don't want to hear everything happens for a reason. Yeah. It's like, what do you mean everything happens for a reason? That's not what I need right now. But going back to the question about like God using the devil as an agent, it's like God created everything. Like everything. Heaven, earth, and hell. That's what a lot of people forget. They think like the devil is like, he has yes, he's the ruler of that and he's the ruler of the air, but God is sovereign over all, which means he has power over everything. And I think a lot of times they think like, if God is so great and so good, why is he allowing
bad things to happen?
Yeah. And it's like, he's a holy God. And if you're holy, that means you're set apart, which means you're perfect. And if he is perfect, that means he can't be beside something that's imperfect. And so we as humans are imperfect, right? And there needs to be a place where righteous judgment is taken place. And that's where hell comes into place, right? And so
righteously.
righteous
Get in there.
judgment. It's not just, I just want to throw somebody in there just so I could see
Throw
them
in their
burn.
fire,
No,
yeah.
he desires that everybody makes it to heaven. But obviously we have choice, right? And so we make decisions that don't abide by the Bible, or we make decisions that are pleasing to our flesh, but not so much to the desires of God. So that's where. But the devil is under God. Just remember that. He does not have the power that you think he has. He can only do so much. He can test you. He can tempt you, but God has sovereign power. So just for those
I
who
feel
are
like God
struggling.
also be like sometimes, Satan, go.
Yeah,
I think he needs a little bit of
maybe a little joke.
a little jerk. Lot go.
Yeah, sometimes
Oh my God.
I don't know why, but I feel
I
like
see what
he
you're saying, though.
needs a little testing. Like
Yeah,
he's
I see
what
done
you're
too
saying.
much. He's repeated
He needs
his
a little bit of
cycle.
humbling.
Yeah.
He needs a little
or
bit
to test
humbling.
his faith a little
Yeah.
bit more.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because sometimes you can be in a place as Christians, like, oh, everything's flowing. I'm praying. My hands are high. He's answering my prayers. I
Not
feel like
even. I feel like times where you're not praying or whatever, but everything is still going
that
good
too.
for you.
But I feel like when Christians feel like everything's good, where God is responding, they can hear from them. Like everything is cool. It's perfect. I don't have no problems. And then it's like, that's where you can begin to kind of like coast, where you just feel like it's a routine and you kind of don't press it anymore. So
I believe that still.
yeah.
When times are going good, you need that little testing.
Yeah.
Let's see what you're built of. Let's see what
Just
you say.
like with training too, right?
Yeah.
Let's see what
Like think about it when you're training for like
the Olympics.
or something. You don't want to stay mediocre and just do the same thing over again. You
you
want to
lift
push your
higher,
limits.
you lift more, you swim harder.
Try harder and do more and exercises that will help build your endurance and stuff like that. So let's move on to the next question that we got, that I have here. This one is, why do people pray to God after a tragedy like 9/11 or Katrina, or even what's happening in Afghanistan, or anything that's happening in this world currently? When Katrina, when they are praying to the party that caused or allowed it, basically praying to God that caused the whole thing to happen. Why do people do that?
That's a tough
People
one.
not gonna like that. I just think that is not the case. I lost my train of thought.
That's like the third time that happened ever in Juxtaposition for her.
Well,
She
that
should have
she
a
lost-
point, a counter. How many times she lost her train of thought?
Can we okay, should we,
Can you repeat the question one more
Yeah.
time, and then somebody else can answer, and I'll
so
think about
why
mine.
do people pray to God after a tragedy like 9/11 or Katrina, when they are praying to the party that caused or allowed it?
Let me say something.
Okay.
Everybody. Just reading like Sodom and Gomorrah and stuff like that. Sometimes when natural disasters happen and stuff like that happens, like, and especially Haiti, because I was reading up on Haiti and knowing Haiti, like
They've been
they're
through
very
a
corrupt.
rough.
People within Haiti are corrupt and stuff like that, and the government's corrupt, and and it's very similar to the Bible.
So what you're trying to say is God had to let some people go.
Yeah. For real, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Because
okay.
what
He had to let people pass on.
What God did to certain cities in
You're right,
in the
you're right.
Bible, I'm seeing it play out in our world right now.
And people don't see that,
and
though.
it's like that, and when I seen it, I said,
But then it's like the innocent people who actually are Christians and they actually abide by the Bible. What happens to them? Why are they getting killed? Why they're following the God that so-called said serve me and love me
I
and
don't
do all
want to
those
say guilty
things?
by association, but
I'm
I'm
just
not
asking
gonna
the
say
question.
that.
I'm just
Yeah,
asking
yeah,
the
I'm
question.
not gonna say that, but it's like your collateral damage, if that makes sense.
Oh.
No, I know that hurts. And that's it. No, because you're within the city, like
You're right. No, but
yeah,
you're
you're
right.
living. It's like
Bible. Yeah.
what was the story that where like I think it was a story where they were living there, but the city was like
the city was bad.
crazy.
Yeah.
But there was a
Kids will
few
get done
people
now.
who were like rooting for God.
Yeah.
What was the story that
Was
was
it Sodom and Gomorrah?
No,
But even
we
in
read
Sodom
it.
and
I don't know
Gomorrah,
what it
we
was.
can look at
We
Sodom
recently
and
read
Gomorrah.
that story.
Sodom and Gomorrah, there's good people within Sodom and Gomorrah, and they had to go off too.
Right.
It's so bad. It's harsh.
No, but this is where the Bible answers our question, where it says in Romans 3:23, "For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God." That means Everybody.
So no one's like perfect. No one's like
the only perfect being
holy
that
and
there
thou.
was and still is and still will be is Jesus.
Exactly.
There's no
everybody's just trying.
Yes.
Let's just say
we're
that.
just trying to live that life and follow the line that Jesus laid out for us.
God rest his soul, Kobe, when he died.
I know plenty of people are like, why?
Kobe.
Why
I
him?
never would have expected
Right.
Kobe to pass.
Right.
Kobe bleeds just how we bleed.
Right.
Kobe is just a regular human like us. So it's like, as days went by, I'm like, it kind of went down. I was sad, but it's like, yo,
You have to
he's
understand, like,
regular.
it's
He's a regular
for us.
person. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's sad how he went out, but it happens. Accidents happen, like stuff happens in life, right?
Yeah.
So it's like no one is above. What's the word? I don't know. No
God. Nobody's
no one is
above God. That's the
Yeah.
end of the story. Like you can't.
No
because-
one's like, leveled or
there's
hierarchy.
We always do that as human beings. Like, okay, since I gave today and I gave $100 to a charity, I know I shouldn't be touched.
Yeah.
Like I should be saved. Like no sickness, no nothing. But it's like once again, we're all falling short of the glory of God. If you're God, come talk to me. Come on.
Yeah.
Come to me.
Or if
and-
you're perfect, or you
if you're
even had
perfect,
a what's it called, mistake, or
Come on, come
lied,
talk
or
to me about
cheated,
it, yeah.
or talked
Listen.
behind someone's back.
come talk to me
Then-
and tell me how you did it because I want to live that life. But it's
Yeah.
just like we need to be dependent on God and not put this hierarchy of like, okay, I'm here because I did so and so, and this person is here because they did so and so. It's like no,
If I get dunned off today, God forbid, if I get dunned off today, don't say, "Oh, he was a good guy." I don't know how it happened to.
I mean, but he
all
was a good
deserve
guy.
Death. We all deserve death.
Yes.
All right. So don't sit down and be like, "Yeah, you know." I mean,
yeah, tragedies are part of
Yeah,
of,
it
of, of
happens.
the sin that is in this world, and a lot of people don't understand that aspect. It's just like I don't understand. Like I had nothing to do with this. I wasn't even born. What does it have to do with me? But it's just part of the whole biblical story, right? It's all from Adam, right? And it just trickled down to everybody and will continue until Jesus returns. And so the only thing that you can do is live out the Bible, what God is calling us to do, right? And to repent and constantly go back and get more from God and live that life. Or else you're just going to be living this so-called, I don't even know if it's mediocre, but it's going to be one of those lives where you feel like you deserve certain things, but it's not, you're not entitled to anything.
I feel like also like going back to just having like dependency and stuff like that. I feel like all of the emotions that go on in this world, like sadness or death or stuff, those all go back to like being dependent on him and like no emotion is not attached to him and what he didn't feel. And I feel like, all these verses in the Bible where it's like, there's verses for being comforting during grief. There's verses for being happy. There's verses for being in depression or something like that. All those like little
these
hardships
emotions,
are meant to go refer back to the Bible and him to help you through that.
Right.
So us thinking like, oh my gosh, why are we going through these things? Like it's for us to learn and for us to grow and become better and more dependent on him. Because imagine if like going back to the verse, I keep forgetting the whole verse, but I know he won't give us nothing more than we can't bear. And like people will be like, oh my gosh, I can't handle this. I can't go through this. And God's like, yeah, you can.
got
I
you.
equip you for this.
Yeah, I got
if you just
you.
lean on me a little bit, then I'll take care of you. And most of the time we get through that. And like beginning, we look at ourselves like, oh, I don't think I can handle this death, but you can because he's there for you. So
I know.
yeah.
But don't, when tragedy happens, that's the first thing you should probably run to is God. But don't hold it and be perfect and be like, God, thank you for this tragedy. It's like, no, God, I'm distraught. Like, I don't even know what to do right now. Like, how is this
Wailing,
happening?
crying,
Like,
yeah.
lament. And a lot of people think when you go to God, you have to be all put together. Don't show your emotions and just be like, thank you, Father. I know you're doing your will. And so that's it. But it's like, no, you're angry, you're bitter,
Be
you're
honest.
sad, you're emotional. Tell him and he'll help you through it, like Janet said. So that's a tip for those who are actually going through grief or whatever it is that you're going through emotionally.
But that perspective is important to have, and if you can understand that, it will save you a lot of trauma and a lot of mental health problems and stuff like that.
And I feel like even that goes into like, I don't know why, but you won't cry as hard because you have a
Comfort.
comfort, a confirmation that, okay, you know what, it's okay. We're all going to pass on, but like, we're going to be with him.
Right.
And I feel like one more thing, those people who don't believe in God, I don't know.
How you doing it?
I don't know, but I know who you're leaning on because those people like you, like I don't know what I would do,
yeah.
where I would go, how I would settle my mind
If something tragic or
if something tragic were to happen. Like I don't have that
Numb.
assurance.
People
Like,
are
oh my
just
gosh,
numb.
God got
Yeah.
me. They're somewhere else in a better place.
Yeah.
You just,
just living.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
But you know,
Walking
God got
Dead.
you.
God is the best comforter.
Yes, exactly. So the last question we're going to answer is the one that I picked, and it is, if God is perfect and his creation's perfect, why did he fail several times? And just to give you like a backstory, a couple of the failures that
quote
they,
unquote
Yeah,
failure.
quote unquote,
Yes,
that people
sorry,
think are
quote unquote.
failures. They saying he doesn't fail. but
Exactly. So he imposed suffering upon the human race when Adam and Eve defied by eating the fruit from the knowledge of good and evil. So they said he failed there. He had to flood the planet 16,000 years later, wiping all but 8 humans. He had to confuse human language after Nimrod and the Tower of Babel incident so that they cannot effectively communicate with each other. How is this a track record of a perfect being?
If he done that. Or
Okay.
something.
Let me just hold on a second.
What you saying? What you saying?
Like a fraction.
Read the question that
The question.
Yeah.
Okay. If God is perfect and his creation's perfect, why did he fail several times?
Why did he fail several times? That he
Several.
he doesn't fail. That's where you got it wrong.
Why so tough?
Why? So yeah, tell us.
He's a perfect God,
Okay.
right? So he created creation. It was perfect, but he gave us choice. Adam and Eve had choice from the beginning, right? He said, guys, listen, you can eat any fruit. Like, I can only imagine what the Garden of Eden even looked like at that time.
It's a lush garden. It was
Full. It
was like
he said, anything but this one tree of what is God?
the knowledge.
Good and knowledge.
Yeah.
I mean, fruit.
The knowledge of good and evil.
Knowledge of good and evil.
Yeah.
So you're telling me we're gonna blame God
Are we?
for a choice that Adam and Eve made?
Especially
And they blame Eve.
Especially Eve. I'm
Yeah.
joking.
They blame Eve.
So you're telling me God created this. We created everything that you could possibly desire in the Garden of Eden. You have everything you want. And like, let's bring it back down into like today. You have everything you want. And he said, just don't be foolish with your money. Give give this certain amount every so often with your money. And you can have everything. Like, you'll always get the money that you want. You always get the family, whatever you desire. And you go do the opposite. Now you're telling me God failed, or was it our choice that made creation?
Good point. That's a good point.
sin?
You preaching.
So somebody come and tell me. I just need to know, because I know there's always something inside of me that's telling me, Bernice, don't do that.
Or Bernice, go do that.
Go either one. And I'm like,
Pick a side.
yeah,
Big sad.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna go this way. And then what ends up happening, I'm going the opposite way of where God is just telling me to go to, or telling me not to go to. Right?
But thank God he's a graceful God.
Yes, hallelujah.
And
Thank
he
you,
gives
Jesus.
us another choice and another chance, and he
Yeah.
doesn't shut us out.
Hallelujah.
So
Yeah.
our God is forgiving. That's another one.
So can we go back to the examples that?
So they said.
Sorry, I just wanted to talk about the
The language confusion?
yeah, the language confusion.
What does he
So
mean by
they
that?
they were building a tower that's going to reach, like, it was supposed to reach up to the heavens.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, you're already building something that's not of God. He said in the commandments, don't have any other God.
False gods.
Don't idolize anything, but just follow me. Love me.
Where's that
Choose
from?
me.
Choose me.
Where's that building of the tower from?
Genesis
Okay.
30, 20, is it
Okay.
18 or something like that? Genesis 11, I think, something like that. They were beginning to idolize. Guys, it just started. Like,
You're gonna go to space. Then you're gonna go to space.
like they literally just started. I'm just thinking about it. I'm like, you guys just started. Like,
They said, nah.
you guys
Yeah,
just
that's
started. And it's like they're already beginning to create idols. And God is like, no, this is not going to work. We got to confuse these people.
They're
And
like,
give them, it's not even
Give
like,
them Spanish.
like, yes,
And a little
give
bit
them
French.
this and give them that. Like, let's give Italian over there. And a little
And
bit
tree.
of English and tree
And Yoruba.
Like, that's
Yeah.
what happens. And so they got confused. It's not to hurt them, actually. Actually, it's to help
But
them.
look at the world today.
Right. We
That we
be
speak
saying
all
thank
different
God for different
languages.
languages that we were able to communicate with other people.
And
right?
learn other people's languages.
So
Pretty cool.
And once again, the Moses story about, is it Moses? Yeah, Moses story about, no, not Moses. Noah, sorry.
Yeah.
Noah's story of him flooding.
And wiping out the people.
It's the same thing as tragedies that happen
Yeah,
today.
it is.
It's like you said, sorry, Nana said it,
Yeah.
collateral damage. Like,
Yeah.
it's true.
Yeah.
And Noah called people to say, like, come.
Come on the boat.
It's gonna, like, there's a flood coming.
Yeah.
And they said,
I'm warning
I'm
you.
gonna wait. Don't worry. I'm gonna come. Don't worry. Just let me know when it's about to start. It's too late. They gotta close the boat, and it happened.
They had choice.
They had
they had
choice.
choice.
That's the life that we have. The beautiful thing that we have is
Life of
choice.
choices, man.
That's
Pick-
it.
But your choice can determine a lot of things in your
Yes.
future.
Yup.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. That was a
wow,
good
wow,
episode.
wow.
Wow.
That was a really good episode.
That's
I
good,
actually
guys.
really like this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. We
Yeah.
might bring it back again. If you guys like it, we can answer
Yeah,
some of
there's
the
way more
questions.
questions.
Yeah,
we
send
can-
us more questions. Because
yeah.
Once again, I don't know everything. I don't even know if what I said was even like factual.
Yeah, and if you need to educate
Actually,
me,
I do know. But
But you can, but she can even you can educate her
You can-
more
thank you.
and
That was
bring
gonna
the
say.
verse and put it in the comments
Yes.
and
Yeah.
you know all that
yes.
stuff.
And obviously, I'm willing. I want God to pour more wisdom on all of us, and even those who are listening or watching. So ask God for wisdom, because I'm still asking, and I know God is probably like, Bernice, we're gonna have to talk about some things that you said. I'm just joking,
Yeah.
but yeah, I enjoyed it. Do you have anything to say?
the quote of the day or just subscribe and all that thing.
You can do a quote of it if you have a quote of the day.
Well, okay. The quote of the day is: "Speak what you seek until you see what you spoke."
Vision.
Say
One more
that
time.
again. Speak what you seek until you see what you spoke.
Okay, yeah,
I like that.
I get it.
Have
yeah.
faith.
Yes, have faith.
Okay.
Even though you don't see it.
Yes.
Yes. Have faith that God is gonna help you through it
Yes.
and reveal the vision.
Yes.
So
Professing
that's
stuff is powerful.
That's our vision here, is that this Juxtaposition podcast will go bigger and grow larger and hit
Okay.
nations and spaces that we never thought we would
And
ever.
countries that we
Brazil.
haven't visited,
Yeah.
and opportunities
Yeah.
that they're gonna call us, and names where our names are not even heard. We don't even know where our names are heard,
Yeah.
but they're there.
Yeah. But keep
So,
praying for us, guys.
yeah.
That's one thing we ask. Keep praying for us and keep watching, keep listening, keep
Yes.
spreading the message. So once again, we love you. And if you haven't subscribed, please go do that on YouTube. If you haven't followed us on Spotify, Google, Apple
Wow.
Podcasts, go do that right now. We're on
Yes.
Twitter, we're on Instagram, the
Yeah.
Juxtaposition Podcast _ So just make sure stay tuned with all the upcoming updates and stuff like that that's happening. in our
Watch
lives.
us grow. That's the most
Yes.
beautiful thing when you
Yeah.
see people grow and you see the journey.
And you're long for it. Like, you
Yeah.
know, when people, you start with someone and you see how they've grown, you can go back to the videos and be like, oh my gosh, I remember their first
Right.
video.
And-
That's like special.
No, that's 100% sure. And I definitely know majority of the people that connect with us.
Yeah.
Like watchers.
Yeah.
Like I know. Like
knows.
I know.
He knows.
Like there's names just flowing through my head, like DM or comments or like
We see you,
subscribers
we appreciate
or
you.
like, you know, so we definitely see you. So shout out to
Thank you
y'all.
for that. But
Thank
once
you.
again, close us out. Yeah.
Yeah. Almost forgot what that. But yeah. Well, that's all, folks. We are the Juxtaposition crew, and we are